So, what is going on, guys? It is me, the Retro Reviewer. I'm not dead. And I'm coming back to you with another video, and today it is on a very special game. But before we get to that, I would like to have a few shout-outs. So, for example, Nick Bait, or Duba TV as he was once known, The One True Dobby, but a new YouTuber who I've recently met via playing online, Little Liam Gaming, which is very good, or Little Liam Games, either way it will come up. He does Terraria videos and all of that kind of stuff, and he's pretty cool. So today we're going to get into the topic of this video. When the Super Nintendo came out towards 1992, a lot of new things happened. It was a new 16-bit era, and the NES just got doubled. But a lot of franchises were forgotten, such as things like Ice Climbers. They didn't get a Super Nintendo game. But one arcade game did get its own remaster, its own trilogy, which changed the way we think about games today. The company Rareware, in '93, created Donkey Kong Country. So, what makes this cartridge so special? What is the gameplay like? What is the story like? But most importantly, what type of an impact did it have on the console? Today, join me, Wilson, the Retro Reviewer, and we're going to dive in to the first game in the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, Donkey Kong Country. So, Donkey Kong Country, what was revolutionary? What was it like? But most importantly, does it still hold up to this day? Rareware was given the opportunity to take Shigeru Miyamoto's massive hit from the arcades, Donkey Kong, and rewipe it. And so was created Donkey Kong Country, a game that goes down in history for being notoriously hard, but also looking notoriously fabulous. To begin, Donkey Kong has had a complete reskin, and he's not the Donkey Kong you know. Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is followed by his pal Diddy as they go through all different worlds trying to take back their banana hood from King K. Rool. Now, to begin, let's get into the story. So Donkey Kong Country is, like I said before, notoriously difficult. But does its story hold up with its difficulty? It was a dark and stormy night when Diddy Kong was out watch for the Kong's banana hoard on the DK Isle. Donkey Kong was asleep, but in the night, some Kremlings came and kidnapped Diddy, put him in barrels. Diddy labeled them DK so Donkey Kong knew where he could be, so that's how you break out Diddy Kong in the games. King K. Rool and all of his Kremlings stole all of the bananas from the Kong horde and took them for their own. They were scattered around the island, and it's your job to pay back King K. Rool. So, the story, a bit mediocre, but good. Donkey Kong talks to Cranky, and Donkey Kong sets out at the very beginning of Congo Jungle. And one thing I'd like to comment on, which is why I'm here on the map island, the music is astounding in Donkey Kong Country. Some of the best tracks ever by some of Rare's best people, David Wise, and with the helps of people like Chris Seaver, who would go on to create such gems as Banjo-Kazooie, which I've already covered in this channel, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. Donkey Kong Country is an amazing game, but to give you an example of what I mean by difficulty, I might as well just show you. To show you what I'm talking about, I've been on Donkey Kong Country for quite a while, and I'm only a bit way through. I've found that there's one main thing. Always visit everyone. You can visit people like Cranky to get advice. You can visit people like Candy Kong to save your game. And you can visit people like Funky Kong and even mediocre ones such as, let me think. There's so many Kongs to be able to adventure with. But Cranky Kong has all different dialogues, which is pretty cool. And he will teach you things about the world. You can go to Funky's Flights, which will help you navigate around the worlds. Funky is the raddest 90s character ever. So there's the main island, Donkey Kong Country. So that's pretty cool. I am currently in Monkey Islands. So, one thing I found in Donkey Kong Country is there's a big fitting theme. The bosses are quite mediocre, but don't usually take long to defeat. So this one is Necky's Nuts. There's a bird that spits out, you guessed it, Necky's Nuts. Oh, and I lost Donkey Kong. State-of-the-art gameplay. And, as you can see, quite frequently in Donkey Kong Country, or maybe that's just my lack of skill, you will die a lot. If you're not used to seeing the game over screen by the end of your playthrough, you will be after a while. And that is a very fitting theme with all of the other Donkey Kong Country games to come. Do not know what just happened there. But it follows the 5 hits and it's dead. At the end of every level, in the Banana Horde, you'll get a big Nintendo banana, which you want to collect throughout. The next world is Vine Valley, and as you will see from this level, the difficulty will raise. You can save Diddy Kong throughout countless levels. Oh wow, I did not see that. Okay, you can collect all 4 letters of Kong to get a life at the end, which, trust me, after playing all 3 Donkey Kong Country games, and there might be reviews for the others to come, lives are your best friends in the later levels. As you can see, a lot of things happen. This game isn't perfect, but neither is anything. Neither, no. Basically, Donkey Kong Country's difficulty will ramp up quite a lot during the game, and to make it even worse on yourself, lives and DK barrels become a lot more scarce, and you'll have to use puzzle solving and very sharp looks and attention to be able to notice every single one of these. Donkey Kong falls under the category of NES difficulty. Not astoundingly fun. It will get frustrating, but it's rewarding. And that is the big kicker that Donkey Kong Country has. Now, on to other things. A lot of Donkey Kong Country fans don't realize how much Rareware really poured their heart into this remake, or re-scrap, whatever you want to call it. They recycled thing and made it even more amazing, which is hard on standards for video games. Even today, they always remake the video games today, and some of them aren't even that good. But that's beside the point. The Donkey Kong developers at Rare poured their heart into all 3 of these games, from small things like idle animations, which are probably happening on the screen there, and the movement of everything, maybe bananas, and the enemies' patterns, how consistent but random everything is. Combined with the amazing lush environment and the 3D graphics, which I'm going to talk to you about later, this game really is a game to enjoy, I suppose. It's almost like a ride. There's some highs, there's some lows, but most importantly, once you're on the ride, you sort of can't stop. It's impossible to just jump out of a roller coaster in the middle of it. I mean, it's not impossible, but you don't really want to do that. Donkey Kong Country's gameplay is amazing, tight, sure not as polished as the other 2, which are coming, maybe reviews in the future, but this was an experiment, and a good experiment at that. Donkey Kong's gameplay is astounding, and I highly recommend picking this up. Now, on to other things, but most importantly, the graphics. One thing quite special about Donkey Kong Country was its almost 2D, 3D graphics. They were working with 16 bits at the time. Sure, a massive upgrade from NES, but nothing that is compared to the Nintendo 64, with its said in the name 64 bits. It was impossible to achieve perfect 3D on the Super Nintendo, but Rareware decided to almost make a way to trick your eyes into thinking that the game has a foreground, background, midground, everything that you'd expect from a 3D game. They used computer rendering for Donkey Kong and Diddy, all of their enemies, and overlaid backgrounds so it had that 3D sort of feel. And that's something that only the Super Nintendo could boast of, because now everyone automatically defaults to 3D. Everything you see is 3D, from things like Xbox Ones, PlayStation 4s, and the new virtual reality, which is only 3D. It's a reality, but virtual, as the name sort of implies. So the Super Nintendo was the first, but alas the last one, to experiment with this. Rareware would later go on though to dominate the Nintendo 64 with games like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day. So yeah, as I said before, Rareware did a very good job going up into the times. And now, even with things like Rare Replay, Microsoft and Rareware still make an amazing team. Not as good as Nintendo, and I'm hoping for Banjo and Smash, but let's just hope that things get better for Rare. For now, though, the graphics are amazingly appealing to look at, especially for Super Nintendo, and if you're absolutely frustrated controller throwing like from all of the difficult levels, all you gotta do is take one good look at the scenery to calm yourself down. Donkey Kong Country's graphics and 2s and 3s, combined with its music, gameplay, and maybe not as gripping story as the others, but all of those mishmash into a game is a recipe for something to suck in your time and your effort. Donkey Kong Country gets my retro score of 9 out of 10. Before we go, I'd like to talk about some new recent retro pickups. The series isn't coming back, but at the end of each episode, if there's something very spectacular that I wanted to show everyone, I will. So to begin, I got a Super Famicom sealed copy of Chrono Trigger for the Super Famicom, and I checked to see it was legitimate, it is imported from Japan, and Chrono Trigger is an astounding game, so I just, like a lot of people, modded the SNES Mini to include a lot of great games, such as Mega Man 7, or Chrono Trigger, or Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. So that's an amazing find I wanted to show you guys. Some more finds include Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World Combo Kart, which I got for $30, which is an amazing price for 5 astounding Mario games on the Super Nintendo. The only 5 major Mario games on the Super Nintendo. I picked up a Super Game Boy and a few more Game Boy games such as Kirby's Block Blast, Kirby Star Stacker, and another Kirby game, Kirby's Pinball Land, which is surprisingly addictive and, like a lot of people, is related to Revenge of the Gator, another HAL game. But, most importantly, I picked up Donkey Kong Country 3. Just yesterday, actually. On the time of uploading this, I picked it up yesterday. But, Donkey Kong Country 1 isn't my favorite, nor 3. This one is.